in the past. In 2010, the Department of Healthcare Policy and Financing, Department of Human Services formed a conflict of interest task force that was made up of several individuals.
Back here too.
Yeah, well, in 2010, so almost before you, but almost there, Maureen. Lots of individuals, advocates, guardians, services, CCBs, single entry points. They also provided recommendations to the departments, looking at taking away or assigning information and referral responsibility from the CCBs to another agency. Another way to do waiting list administration, separating case management from other entities. Those were all going on in 2010. And then in 2014, about the time that I joined the departments, we created a conflict-free case management task group. This group started to look at choice of case management agency, but by the time this group had our second meeting, a final rule from the Federal Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services came out requiring a separation of case management from the provision of direct services for all home and community-based services waivers. So the charge of this task group that originally started changed from just choice of case management agency to how do we comply with this federal requirement to separate case management from direct services. This task group at the time is very specific to community center boards and individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So that's where the focus of this work was. The department knowing that at some point we would have to look at all of our waivers to ensure that everybody was in compliance. This task group met throughout 2014, provided three main recommendations to the department that agencies or CCBs at that point would provide services only, CCBs would provide case management only, or they would provide both but not to the same. They would continue to be able to provide both to the same individual as long as that individual went through a very long or informed consent opt-out of conflict-free. So those were the three recommendations to the department. The department responded to those recommendations that the first two would comply with federal regulations, so an agency providing services only or case management only, and that the third does not comply with federal regulation. That the regulation that came out from CMS did not allow for an individual to opt out of a conflict-free case management environment. So that happened. And then in 2015, House Bill 151318 was passed and required the department to develop a plan to implement conflict-free case management in Colorado. The department was able to contract with Navic Consulting to help develop that plan in conjunction with community center boards, individuals, guardians, parents, providers. Single entry points were included in some of that work. That plan was developed and submitted to the General Assembly on July 1 of 2016. Next slide, please. Thank you. After that, in the last legislative session, so in 2017, the JVC sponsored a bill, House Bill 171343. This was specific to the statutes regarding individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities and the community center boards. But what this legislation did was create a definition of conflict-free case management. It added a definition of eligible for home and community-based services. I don't know how many people know, but the CCBs don't also just serve people in our HCBS waivers. There are other state-funded services that they provide for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, so we have to separate those pieces out. And it also changed the definition of interdisciplinary team. The definition of conflict-free case management includes a reference to the federal regulation requiring the separation and states that it's the same agency who provides both case management and direct services cannot do that for the same person. So there's that. And then the definition for the IDT or interdisciplinary team changed to align more closely with the person-centered service planning rules from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, stating that in the development of an HCBS service plan, it's developed by the individual receiving services, their case manager, and then anyone else that individual wants to have at their support plan meeting. So that happened there. Next slide, please.